Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep today into Norse mythology, specifically looking at Odin.
Right. The Allfather?
Exactly. But maybe not just the warrior god people picture first. The sources we have here show something else, don't they?
They really do. It's less about brute strength and more about this, well, relentless drive, an insatiable thirst for knowledge.
He saw true power in knowing things, in foresight.
Precisely. Understanding the cosmos, seeing the threads. That was Odin's real quest. He wasn't just sitting on a throne.
He was a wanderer.
Constantly. Often in disguise, the legends say, traveling everywhere just to gather wisdom. That seeking is what defines him.
And the biggest story capturing that, the one from all those old Germanic legends and folktales. It's his journey to Mimir's well.
Under the world tree, Yggdrasil. That's the absolute core of his quest for wisdom.
So that's our mission for this deep dive, to get past the surface of the story.
And really dig into the details, the lessons packed inside.
What does this myth tell us about knowledge and maybe the sacrifices it demands?
Yeah, what's the real cost?
Thinking about that, Mimir as well. What do the sources actually say it was? It's clearly more than just, a well.
Oh, absolutely. It's described as profoundly sacred, mysterious, located deep down beneath the roots of Yggdrasil.
The cosmic tree holding everything together.
Exactly. And the water itself. It supposedly held infinite wisdom. Everything. Past, present, even glimpses of the future. The ultimate source code of the Norse universe, basically.
Accessing that kind of truth? Wow. Sounds too good to be free. Was there a catch, a price?
Always a price in these myths. And this one was steep. The sources are clear. Nothing that valuable comes without cost.
So people knew about it, but didn't just queue up for a drink.
Definitely not. Many knew the tales, few dared to go, and even fewer were considered worthy or even allowed near by Mimir himself.
The Guardian, who was he? A giant, some kind of ancient being.
Descriptions vary, but always immensely old, wise, maybe a giant, maybe something even older, intrinsically connected to the well's wisdom itself. He guards it fiercely.
So, Odin, chief of the gods. Already powerful. Why take this insane risk? Why does he need this knowledge so badly?
Well, his motivation seems to run deep. It's about uncertainty. He couldn't stand not knowing, especially about the fate of the worlds.
He feared Ragnarok, the end times.
Acutely. He saw potential dangers, the threads of fate being woven by gods, giants, monsters, all these forces, and not fully grasping those patterns terrified him.
He needed the intel from the well.
Yes, to see the threats, maybe even figure out how to influence things or at least prepare. He decided that insight was worth, well, anything.
And the journey itself, not exactly a stroll across the Bifrost Bridge, I imagine.
Far from it. Getting down to those deep roots was long, dangerous, treacherous paths, hostile creatures, giants trying to trick him, enchanted obstacles.
But he pushed through.
The sources really stress his determination. His will was iron. He knew the stakes were cosmic, not just personal. Failure wasn't an option.
Yeah.
That desire for truth just drove him onward.
So, picture him finally arriving. After all that, what does he find?
He reaches this place deep in the shadows of the roots. Barely any light. And there's the water, bubbling up into some kind of bowl.
And Mimir is there.
Sitting there, silent at first, eyes holding just. Ages of wisdom. He knows immediately why Odin's come.
Does Mimir speak first?
Yes, the sources say he speaks slowly, deeply. Acknowledges Odin's desire for that ultimate knowledge, that drink from the well, but immediately hammers home the point. High cost.
And Odin, maybe hoping for a discount, offers stuff.
Exactly. He pulls out the Asgardian treasures, jewels, fine weapons, maybe even offers a share of his glory, his fame, the usual royal bargaining chips.
But Mimir's not buying it.
Not at all. Shakes his head. Material wealth. Meaningless compared to cosmic secrets, knowledge of fate and danger. Odin realizes pretty fast that gifts won't cut it.
It has to be something personal, something that truly matches the value.
Something deeply personal, a sacrifice that reflects the depth of the desire.
So Mimir lays it out. What's the price? And what's the symbolism there?
Mimir states plainly, true knowledge, the kind that changes you, requires giving up a part of yourself. It's symbolic. It connects your physical being to this spiritual omniscience.
And the specific price?
His eye, Odin's eye. Mimir demands one of his eyes, given up, sacrificed into the well itself. Only then can he drink.
Wow. An eye. That's visceral. Not just property, it's him.
It's brutal. Forces an immediate stark choice. The sources say Odin actually pauses, just for a moment.
Weighing it up, this permanent physical loss versus the knowledge he needs.
The need to protect the cosmos, To face Ragnarok prepared, he decides that's paramount. The price, unthinkable as it is, has to be paid.
And then he just rips it out.
The myths say, without another word, draws his knife, grabs his eye, and tears it from the socket. The pain. Unimaginable. Blood everywhere. Maybe a grunt, a gasp. But he does it.
And throws it in the well.
Throws the eye into the water. Then looks at Mimir with his remaining eye.
That image is incredibly powerful, the sheer violence of the sacrifice. Mimir's reaction.
He's satisfied. Maybe even impressed by the raw courage, the absolute commitment. He dips the bowl, fills it with the well's water, and hands it to Odin.
And drinking it. It's not pleasant either.
No. The sources describe it as painful, almost burning his throat as it goes down. This isn't just water. It's concentrated cosmic essence. Not really meant for unprepared beings. Even gods feel the strain.
But the payoff must be immediate. What does he get right then?
In that instant, they say, he's flooded with knowing. It's overwhelming. Sees all 9 worlds at once. Past, present, future. Laid out like a map before his inner vision.
He hears things, sees things not normally visible.
Hears the dead whispering, sees the Norns weaving fate itself down by the roots, feels the energy connecting everything, all the secrets he craved, suddenly revealed.
So what's the core lesson he learns from that flood of insight, the big takeaway?
He understands that brute force, his old way, isn't enough. Not for dealing with destiny, with these complex threats he now sees clearly.
He needs something else.
Cunning, foresight, prudence, strategy. The knowledge shows him the intricate paths forward, how to potentially unite the squabbling gods, how to start countering the dangers he glimpsed. It fundamentally changes how he sees power.
And this act leaves a very obvious permanent mark on him.
Absolutely. From then on, he's Odin the One-Eyed. That visible sacrifice becomes his defining feature, a constant reminder.
He tried to hide it sometimes.
Often wears a hat pulled low or a patch maybe, but everyone knows it's a mark of respect, awe, maybe even a little horror. What he was willing to endure, it speaks volumes about his will.
And it's fascinating that physical loss forces a change in how he operates day to day, right? He literally can't see the world the same way.
Exactly right. His inner sight, his wisdom, is massively expanded. But his physical perception is diminished. He's lost depth perception, half his field of vision.
Which is where the ravens come in, Hugin and Munin.
Precisely. Thought and memory. They become crucial, his eyes and ears across the realms, flying out every single day, scouting, gathering news from mortals, giants, everyone, everywhere.
Bringing it all back to him.
Keeping him informed, compensating for the physical sight he gave up. The very practical consequence of the sacrifice.
What really gets me is the symbolism of the eye itself. It's not just gone, it's in the well.
That's the fascinating part, isn't it? It's not just about loss. It's a transformation. The eye stays in Mimir's well, a constant symbol of the cost.
But maybe more than a symbol.
Some sources hint it does more. It maintains a link. So while his remaining eye sees the physical world, the eye in the well acts like a conduit. A direct line back to that source of inner knowledge.
So he didn't just lose sight, he exchanged one kind of seeing for another, deeper kind.
Exactly. Giving up the ordinary to gain the extraordinary. Which is why the myth resonates so strongly, why it pops up in so many tales.
It teaches something fundamental.
That knowledge isn't passive. It comes with responsibility. And often pain. If the All-Father himself makes that kind of sacrifice for insight.
Then mortals should understand that true understanding doesn't come cheap. It demands something of us.
It elevates Odin, too. He becomes more than a king. He's this archetype.
The wise leader, burdened by what he knows.
Yes, the seeker who sacrifices. The symbol of relentless devotion to understanding, no matter the personal cost. It cements that image far more than any battle could.
So the ultimate message from the one-eyed god, what is it?
Well, that image itself is powerful, maybe even a warning. The pursuit of wisdom is endless, consuming.
Balancing on that edge between sacrifice and gain.
Right. Odin's sacrifice was immense, horrific even. But the knowledge he gained, it bore fruit. It gave him the tools, the cunning, the foresight he needed to try and defend order against chaos.
It's one of the most famous myths for a reason.
Because it shows so starkly that a deep thirst for knowledge brings glory, yes, but also pain. It demands a price to truly understand the universe.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, the core takeaway seems to be that profound knowledge, real understanding, it's rarely easy, almost never without cost.
Yeah, it forces you to think. Real insight might mean giving up comfort, certainty, maybe even changing how you see everything.
And this isn't just ancient history, is it? Gods and giants aside, it raises questions for us now.
Absolutely. What do we truly value? What are we willing to sacrifice, personally, for deeper understanding in our own lives, our own complex world.
And what's the responsibility that comes with that? Once you've seen something others haven't.
Especially today, right? Information overload everywhere. Facts are easy. But genuine understanding, that still feels hard-won.
So the final thought for you listening, what does this myth mean for you today? What are the sacrifices, big or small, that deep knowledge asks of us now?